Hey, welcome back to the Fit Survive channel. Today we're looking at Olight's Arkfeld Pro. And so I've actually reviewed both of the previous models of the Arkfeld. And so the previous models come with either the laser or the UV light. And I remember when I was reviewing them, I thought to myself, they should really combine the two into one. And that's exactly what they've done here with the Arkfeld Pro. And so now you can see you have the UV, you have the green laser, or you have the LED light here. All right, and that's not the only upgrade. They've actually done a bunch more upgrades here in the specs. But first off, for comparison, you can see that the Arkfeld Pro is just slightly larger. It is longer by just a bit. It is insignificantly thicker, and it is also just barely wider. This, of course, it does not have any effect. I've tried this out in my bag, in a pocket, and either way, I mean, it still fits well. It's not become like obsessively large, or shall I say, I'm sorry, excessively large. And so it still fits really well, even with this slightly larger size. All right, so before we get any farther, we'll start with the color here. This is the dragon version. And so you can see they've done a really good job here on laser engraving this dragon. They do have a bunch of other options. They have the plain black and blue. They have it in an orange, like a forest green, which of course is a lot darker than this one right here. They also have what they call racing stripes, and it has like red, orange, and yellow stripes down the side of it. It's got some like goldish to bronze looking accents as well instead of the blue. And so it's also a really cool model as well. All right, so back to the comparisons between these two. They've literally upgraded every aspect of it. So starting with the light, on the older version, you had 1,000 lumens for the turbo. On the Pro, you have 1,300 lumens. And so side by side, that extra 300 lumens actually is significant. And then on the laser, they've also upgraded the laser. On the older version, it is a class 1R laser, whereas on the Pro, it is a class 3R. It's a 5 milliwatt laser. All right, so here are the lasers. You see on the left, that is the beam from the Arkfeld Pro. On the right, that is the beam from the typical Arkfeld. And so the Arkfeld Pro is, you can see, significantly brighter than the typical Arkfeld. And then on the UV version, which I don't have my other UV version with me at the moment. So on the UV, they've also done an upgrade. So this is now 900 milliwatts of this UV, whereas the older version was 580 milliwatts, which also you can notice, especially like in the dark, when you like a really dark room, you can definitely see the difference between the older version, newer version. It's definitely quite an obvious upgrade. So for example, this wall here in this barn, you can see, of course, it's a dirty wall. When you change this over to UV light, you can see this right here, which you couldn't see in ordinary light. All right, so other than that, they've also improved the battery. This now has a 1,500 milliamp hour battery, built in, non-removable. And that might be one of the reasons why this is a little bit larger, maybe a little bit thicker. It does have a slightly larger battery in there. But again, that's always a good upgrade whenever they increase the battery size, because all these extra features in the upgraded specs, of course, is going to take more power to keep it powered up. All right, so other than that, another thing I noticed that they've upgraded is the pocket clip. So on the older versions, the pocket clip was very lackluster. Let's just say that. Not impressive. I did not like the shape of it, and it's a one-way pocket clip. Whereas on the Pro version, you see it is a two-directional. And so if you want this on your cap, you can slide this onto your cap, and that works that way. Or if you want to fit this into your pocket or into a pouch, you have the opposite direction of the pocket clip. And it just feels so much more, I don't know, it feels tighter over this pocket clip right here. And plus it adds to the overall design. Here they got the extra blue, which adds into the blue accents, which I think looks really great like that. Another interesting thing, which might be insignificant to most people, the dial, I found that my thumb was always right here, in between, if you can see up here close, the two knobs, my thumb was always in between them. And so you have to reach up and you have to grab either side to get to that dial. On the Pro version, I noticed that the dial is right here and it's easily accessed. And so I don't feel myself like I have to intentionally reach up to grab that. Again, that might be insignificant for many people, but it is something that I noticed and that I really appreciated. All right, and there was one thing that this came with, and I was really going to, I don't know, give them a bad rating for it, was you turn this on, what do you expect from a double click? A double click, you should expect turbo. This came with the strobe. And I was like, I hate that, because that's like almost, I don't know, like a given rule, right? Like the double click, if you're doing clicky things, the double click is your turbo, triple click is generally turbo. I'm sorry, triple click is usually the strobe, and then you got any other, wacky settings after that. You have your quadruple clicks and so on. So anyways, I really thought that was a major mistake with them having the double click where it takes you into the strobe. But it actually turns out to be, you can change that setting. And so what you do is you go into lockout. And so from powered off, you press and hold this down for about 2 seconds until it turns off. Now this is lockout. You'll see the red light lights up. That means you're in lockout. All right, and while you're in lockout, if you click this 10 times and then hold it down, it'll flash twice, and that's it, it's fixed. A double click, let me turn it on. Oh, I have to unlock it. All right, hold it on, there we go. All right, so now then the double click takes you right into the turbo. Triple click does the strobe. All right, so that definitely rescued them, in my opinion, because if the double click was strobe and you couldn't do anything about it, that, in my opinion, would be just, I don't know, super annoying. Trying to remember this is a triple click compared to every other flashlight is a double click for strobe. So anyways, it's really cool that they did that. And I was kind of wondering why they might have chosen to do a triple click for the turbo. The only thing I can think of is this does not have a proximity sensor. So a lot of the Olight flashlights and a lot of flashlights altogether nowadays are coming with a proximity sensor just to prevent you like melting the inside of your pocket or the inside of your pouch. And so watch this. This doesn't take much. All right, turn this on to strobe, and you can see I don't have it even squeezed up close next to it. All right, and there you can see we got some smoke coming up. All right, and that's with some space in between the flashlight and this hanky here, basically. All right, so I'm guessing that's the reason why they did the triple click, was just to make it harder to access the turbo, but I totally hated it. For me personally, I don't think that in a pouch or in my pocket that this is an accidental button that I would push. On the back, you have a tail button that can easily be pushed in a pocket or in a pouch. This, I wouldn't be concerned. Plus, they do have the lockout that are already demonstrated here, and so that's one way to take care of that issue as well. All right, so other than that, a lot of the features will be exactly the same. You have the power indicator here. And so on this one, if you can see here up close, it's on the third light, which means it's between 50 and 75%. Click on this one, you can see it's actually looks even a bit brighter, or maybe it's because of the black background. All 4 lights are lit up, so that's between 75% and 100%. So it's kind of nice having the power indicator there like that. I already mentioned the pocket clip. Now then the charging, it is the Olight style of charging. And so you have this magnetic charger. It snaps into place, and then it comes with a USB on this side. And so you'd need some kind of USB source to plug this in and charge it up. And I've showed this several times in different videos, but there also, of course, is like a charging platform or a dock maybe. We have like 4 of these little magnetic rings, and you can charge multiple flashlights at a time. That's if you're maybe an Olight fan or collector. So anyways, they do have their Olight style there for charging this up. The back also is magnetic. And so if you want to put this in any magnetic surface, so you could do kind of hands-free and have the illumination, that does basically has the magnet, which of course the older version had that magnet as well. So anyways, other than that, this also has an IPX7 waterproof rating. And so kind of typical what you'd expect from a flashlight. Let's go ahead and take this outside. All right, so there is a moonlight feature. It is just 1 lumen there, so quite dim. All right, then you have the low, the medium, the high, and then double click. After changing that, you get the turbo. So you can see nice and bright out there. So this flashlight, this costs $100, which is just $10 more than the previous versions cost. And so it costs $100, but this is on sale. It's like 20% off. It's about right on 80 bucks for the next 2 days. So only until the 17th of April, this is on sale. And so all the colors are on sale, by the way. They're all about the same price. I think the Racing Stripes was just like $5 cheaper for some reason. Anyways, I'll have links to this down in the description of the video. Let me know what you think about the flashlight, what you think about the Pro, if you like having the UV, the laser, all in one flashlight or not. I realize the laser and the UV are both kind of awkward items that aren't not necessarily like necessary, like needed, but nonetheless, they add a really cool factor to the flashlight. So if you want to check this out, be sure to pick it up while it's on sale. And thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.